Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Commissar Zero here, bringing you yet again another Stargate space conflict where we will look at the third and final faction, the Wraith. He says with a lisp. Right. Let's see what. Shall we? Let's fight at Earth this time. Right then. So. Oh, so it turns out they were on expert. They just weren't doing anything. Okay, so if you haven't watched the last one, in the last game, this was pretty much the setup we actually did, and I put the Tau'ri, I think, on expert, but they weren't doing anything. There were no ships being pumped out, nothing. So, yes. Anyway, hopefully they'll do it this time. I shall play as the Wraith. We'll have the Tau'ri and the Goa'uld. And we will basically do exactly the same thing we did last time. Shall we have all research complete? Tell you what, no we will not, because I want to at the very least show you the research. Unit cap. Default. Yes, that seems about right. Its flagships on. Yes. Starting positions, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do... yeah, 5 should probably be it, actually. Okay then. So, Wraith on expert, Tau'ri on expert. Shall we change their badges so you can, So these are the Tau'ri. So we'll give them a little Atlantic-y sort of... that one. And honestly, I'm so lazy, I'm not going to do the rest of it. Okay then, so let us begin. Todd, come in. Wraith are never ending. I know the future. Come inside. I'll show you your destiny, John Shepard. So the Wraith are a vampiric, almost immortal type race. They basically, for those of you, they're from the Atlantis series and exist in the Pegasus galaxy. They actually pretty much destroyed the Ancients in the Pegasus galaxy. The Ancients couldn't keep up with them. So, carrier, fighter facility, and corvette facility. I'm interested to see what they have here, actually. Darts, heavy darts, a light bomber squadron. Interesting. Nothing to research as of yet. Build a research module and a hyperdrive. Research module. And we will build... let's see how this works out. It's the same sort of layout as last time. So we're going to build a mobile refinery. And probably some more resource collectors. And then we'll build a frigate facility and a capital ship facility. There we go, the cruisers were the ones that I was thinking about in terms of escort ships in the last game. Right, so, quick rundown of what the Wraith are. The Wraith are, like I said, a vampiric type race. They have the sort of suckers on their hand, where they don't suck the blood, but they almost suck like the soul or the life essence out, which rapidly ages the victim and it maintains the life of the Wraith, essentially. And the Stargate teams in Atlantis tried many times to try and remove this process, maybe make them essentially vegetarians. Of course, unfortunately, that never worked. Not from a lack of trying, though. And Todd, which was the person who did the quotes in that load-up screen, was an example, a sort of human-wraith hybrid. And he became quite a severe pain. So, the one thing I loved about the Wraith was their ships are biological in nature. And essentially, it's almost like a type of Wraith, not Wraith, Tyranids. They're like the Tyranids from Warhammer 40k. All their ships biological. Unlike even their weapons are actually, I can't remember if their weapons are biological, but they're stunners. Because the Wraith have to feed off humans, they're a bit like the Goa'uld. Instead of the Goa'uld being, slave drivers, the Wraith are pretty much like shepherds, and the rest of them are like cattle. which is a very disturbing thought when you think about it. Oh, those are probes. Oh, no, these are resource collectors. Whoa, these are resource collectors? That looks like a probe to me. Maybe that's how they went with it. You never really see the infrastructure of the Wraiths. They don't... Their bases... You see their soldiers. You don't see their bases. And essentially, the Wraith were a very powerful a very powerful race.
Setting drives to idle.
There's no two ways of saying it, really. What's these shuttles do? Oh, it's a capture ship. And heavy bombers. Good against fighters and frigates, apparently. So we'll get some of those. See what the darts look like, shall we?
My queen.
That noise. They're like mosquitoes. I think I've probably said that before, but they're so great. What are you doing? Stop moving. So, research. Double core for heavy darts. Corvette speed at the... Oh, let's get anti-missile frigate. Ah. That's an interesting one. Take a look at that in a minute. But I would like to get the cruiser genome. And we'll get advanced targeting and hyperspace. So yes, essentially, I've never seen... These frigates seem to be originals, but they seem to be just smaller versions of the escorts, except without the sort of tailgates. Oh, but the noise their weapons make are absolutely amazing. The average Wraith soldier seemed to be more powerful than the Jafar. They could take a lot more hits from the P-90s that the Stargate teams used. Of course, not all the Stargate teams used P-90s, but for some reason, always the first team in each, in Atlantis and, you know, seemed to prefer that weapon.
Group 2 designated.
In fact, it was only recently that it was only with the more recent series that they started moving away. Agent Carter? Sorry. Looking at wrong series. Carter used a sort of, I think it must have been a carbine version of the M4, which makes no sense because the M4 is a carbine version of the M16. Teal'c obviously used his weaponry. He also liked light machine guns from the sounds of it. Daniel Jackson used a P-90.
Group 1 reinforced.
G-36s tended... They basically went with weapons that looked technologically superior, because obviously Stargate teams were going to have weapons that were more powerful than, you know, everything else. It's an interesting looking frigate. The assault frigate. Should probably build a scout ship, to be honest. What do we have for scouts? We have a scout dart, obviously. Duh. Should probably do hyperspace for that as well. So yes, all these ships are biological in nature, so they're grown. I don't think it's a hybrid either. There are pretty much no mechanical parts, so like the electrical relays, our nervous system, and all that jazz. Anti-missile frigate. That's probably going to be very good against the Tau'ri. So we'll build 2. I thought I asked 5 of these to be built. Did I only ask for 1? Did I ask the carrier to build? No, I only asked for 1, it seems. So we'll... now I have no money to order anything. That is... Oh. Does it just stop doing it if it can't build it? That might be it.
My queen.
My queen. So the Wraith were a lot like the Goa'uld in that they all had their own little fiefdoms, each hives, we'll say, much like, compare them to ants' nests, really. A lot like the Goa'uld and their system lords.
Group 1 reinforced.
And obviously they ended up sometimes fighting each other quite a lot over food.
My queen.
Group 1 reinforced.
But they were definitely the more of the... Oh, hello. Hello. The Tau'ri are being attacked by Anubis' lot. And by Anubis I obviously mean... Sorry about that. By Anubis I mean the Goa'uld. Are the Tau'ri actually do anything? Because they're on expert. There might be a bug where the Tau'ri just can't fight each other. I mean, look at that. The Goa'uld really are going at it.
Group 1 reporting. My queen.
Group 1 reinforced.
So what I'm going to do is to stand by shipyards. Don't have enough money for the shipyard, unfortunately, at the moment. About research. Don't really want to get those, to be honest. They're really going at it. Look at them. No even attempt to build a defensive force.
Group 1 reporting.
We're going to try and do this. I'd like to see the Tau'ri actually fight, but unfortunately I think it's going to be literally Goa'uld against Wraith again. Which is such a shame because, you know, the Tau'ri have great kit. Again, this is the second time I've seen them completely outclassed by another opponent, AI-wise.
Group 1.
So what we're going to do is try and nitpick.
Moving to intercept. My queen.
Go, my darts. Ooh, hello.
Group 1 copies. My queen.
I don't really have a large fleet here. Oh, there goes the carrier. Tried to move. Didn't make it. I love the noise that these ships make. Wait for it. Fired. There we go. It's great. I love it. We're gonna build. Oh, can I build a shipyard? Oh, it requires the hyperspace module. Derp. Derp. Derpity derp derp derp. Oh my god! That was very quick. Maybe that's the way they balance the Wraith. The Wraith... Oh, it's growing, that's why. So they don't actually build, they grow. Which is clever and kind of cool, but I would really like to know when this is ready. I mean, if that's the case, I'll build 2. I can't build 2, that's great. These look really cool, they look vampiric in nature. It looks like the Goa'uld are giving them kind of a number though.
My queen.
These darts are obviously designed as well for capture of humans. They had like a sort of beam up type thing where they would sort of... It's almost like a harvester. It was kind of creepy when you think about it. Right, where's my carrier? Oh, here we go. Born. I'd like some more darts, please. Can I not build another one? That makes a bit of no sense.
You know me as Michael.
Let's take a look at this. Sorry, I've just realised I got it wrong. It wasn't Todd who became the... Todd was one of the Wraith that... I think it was a scientist. Michael was the hybrid. Look at that. There's mechanical bits strapped to it.
Hang on.
So the cruiser was essentially was the escort for the big hives. It was still big enough though to pose quite a potent threat towards the inhabitants, the natives. They were usually culled to such an extent that they could never really break out. Maybe I should warp the carrier over here. Or here, even. Hyperspace.
My queen. My queen.
Group 1 designated.
Hang on.
And the shipyard is here. Excellent. What can the shipyard build for me? Hive ship. ZPM hive ship. I can hear explosions going on. Oh, it's the heartbeat. It's not the actual doo-doo, doo-doo. Seems to be something wrong with the build. It might be me. I might be not reading this properly. I can't build any more frigates, which is a bit worrying. I can only build one. Maybe the shipyard might have better luck than me. Or even the carrier. Maybe that's why the AI was building so many carriers. I can't even build a frigate facility. What is going on here? Oh well. Hive genome. This looks familiar actually. I don't know where this comes from. Mobile refinery, you go there.
Group 1 reinforced.
Put a fighter screen.
Strike group acknowledged. You know me as Michael.
You know me as Michael. I am that weird, pale albino one, which sort of had a vendetta against humanity for changing me.
My queen.
Mr. Shipyard, what can you build me? What can carriers build? For light energy. So I can build another cruiser in the shipyard. Can the Queen Hive build one? Yes, it can. At the very least, I want to go with the, the typical two cruisers, one hive sort of mentality. It must be money based. So the ZBM hive is obviously, the killer. What that was in the background.
Welcome to my ship.
So, for those of you who didn't see the beforehand videos, the ZPM, or ZPM as they call it in the universe, because they're all American, the ZPM
Attention fleet, we have
is
too many collectors here. Expect
0-point
delays.
modulator. Essentially means it was like an ancient power source, and those things could turn anything into absolute monsters. So anything with ZPM attached to it is a very powerful ship.
Group 1
Oh,
copy.
the cruiser's ready.
Group 1 reinforced.
You know me as Michael.
And then I want to build the ZPM hive. It seems to me that yeah, the hives can build starships, starfighters. The Wraith had a distinct lack of ships and weaponry compared to the Goa'uld. Seemed to be the most fleshed out, mainly because the Goa'uld were the main enemies for much longer than the Slot ever were. The Tau'ri obviously usually fought through the Stargate rather than the actual.
Welcome to my ship.
Still building. Rather than via ships, so they couldn't be particularly fleshed out. But I don't know what the other factions they were planning on doing. The Asgard, you only see like 2 of their ships, and the Ori, there's one class of ship, and that individual class of ship could destroy absolutely everything. So replicators could be an interesting one, because they could just replicate other people's ships, I suppose. There was one replicator ship I remember. I don't know if they did other ones as well. Compatibility, I wonder what that does. Need ZPM integration research. These hive ships are taking a while to build, aren't they?
Welcome to my ship.
Maybe I could build some more frigates. They seem to be building very quickly. I don't know if this is a result of why does it do that? I don't know why it's a result of balancing issues. As in, well, let's let them build quickly, but we'll make them less powerful. Which makes sort of sense, but the Wraith had very powerful ships. They never did a fight against the Goa'uld, so you can't actually tell how that went. And the ZPM one, actually, I think got destroyed before it got to Earth, I think. Why won't it let me build more frigates? It's still confusing me. Oh, maybe there's a cooldown. That might be it. Build another cruiser then while we're at it. Might as well. That could be another balance. Oh, here we go, hive ship.
Welcome to my ship.
Look at that. These were the HQs, the fortress monasteries, the homes, the individual wraiths. I don't know if it was like one wraith. I don't know if it was one hive ship per wraith group. I think there was definitely more, but these were the moving homes. God, it looks cool. Earth in the background, by the way, looks amazing. Just point that out. There's Spain, France, the UK's up here. It's Europe, Africa, Middle East. You can just about see the tip of North America, Mexico, South America.
Group 1.
Group 1 reinforced.
New formation acknowledged.
Hive ship can build that. I think there is a cooldown, which is why they built so many carriers. Probably that makes sense now. In which case, the AI was being really smart. Are these? The Goa'uld is still having a crack at this space station.
Group 1 copies.
Group 1 reinforced.
Hang on.
Let's see what the research is like. The ZPM integration. Here we go. Should I build another hive ship? Well, I might as well. Whilst we wait for the ZPM hive. But they're a lot. I think they're about the same price as the Hatak class, so that's the way they're going with it.
Group 1 reporting. Group 1 reporting.
Group 1 reinforced.
Hang on. Hang
The
on.
hive ships are so large. I like their cruisers. I think their cruisers look cooler than the hive ships, to be honest. They just look awesome, really. Those little spikes in the back. I can't remember how they described how the weapons
Group one.
worked. If they're organic, it must be something to do with blood plasma or bio or whatever. For the Tyranids, it tends to be that, like, you know, acid or stored and stuff, or heat's built up to make bioplasma. Hope you're enjoying the music. I think it's great. It's definitely from the Stargate universe. You can hear the theme actually. Oh, here come the Alkesh. They've finished with the Tau'ri and they're on their way.
Group 1.
ZPM Hive, let's do it.
Group 1 standing by.
Group 1 reinforced.
Strike group prepare for assault.
Group 1 reinforced.
Intercept course punched in.
Intercept course punched in. Yeah, because that sounds Wraithy. Obviously they haven't been able to get all the voices in. The Wraith, they just look so sinister. It's beautiful. Is the ZPM thing being built? Yes, it's taking a while. Got the range of that. Yeah, one of these things could wreck a Dauntless class. The Dauntless could hold its own for a while, but it really was listen to the noise, it's great. Do 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 do. Right. And another hive ship for the fleet of death.
Group 1 reinforced.
Group 1 reporting.
How's that ZPM? That's going to take a while. I want to at least show you guys it because you need to see the flagships. It costs quite a lot, so I don't really want to. Can I build 2 ZPM hives? It'd be kind of funny if I could. I'm not going to try those, so I'll just build a normal hive ship. And maybe a cruiser. I think that's it. No, hang on.
Group 1. New formation acknowledged.
We'll set up a line against the Goa'uld, and hopefully they'll build up something that could take this on. Three hive ships. That's basically 3 attacks. Attacks. Attack class vessels. So what else can I say really about the Wraith? They were an ancient enemy, clearly. They sort of went into stasis. They all went into hibernation over long periods of time to allow the human populations to regrow from the culls, the cullings, and it's one of the reasons why they were fighting the ancients. I mean, fighting present-day humans. Again, unlike the Goa'uld, it's not for personal wealth or power, it's just simply feeding, really. So, are they evil in that sense? It's more to their nature than the Goa'uld. Just the difference is that the Wraith look a lot more evil than the Goa'uld do. The Goa'uld have flashing eyes, the Wraith have, like, teeth on their hands. Sort of should tell you all you need to know about that one. There's a lot of Alkeshas.
Group 1 standing by.
Group 1 reinforced.
Fighting
New
spree.
formation acknowledged.
Welcome to my ship.
About just over halfway. I don't know if the ZBM hive looks different. 22. Let's take a look at the shipyards. This should give a better view. Main warship, 22 energy weapons and a hyperdrive. 22 energy. Does that say heavy? Heavy energy weapons and a hyperdrive. So they have the same amount of firepower. Just there's more oomph behind it. Surprised this lot must be in range.
Group 1 standing by.
They're going for me pro. They're going for me resource
Strike group
collectors.
prepare for assault.
Let's go beat them up. No, they're definitely in range. Look at that. Do 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 do. Probably doing more damage against the Alkeshas than anything else. Here we go. Frigates can do everything else. Look at that. Beautiful. Slowly but surely, that made no sense there, sorry. Slowly but surely destroying the Death Gliders. It could also have, you know, there's a lot of broadsides going on. They didn't really have to move at all.
Group 1
Right,
standing by.
The last
Group
hive
1
ship.
reinforced.
Welcome to my ship.
Group 1
Welcome
copied.
to my ship.
New formation acknowledged.
How's that ZPM hive coming along, gents? Nearly there. And then we can go and kick the Tok'ra, not the Tok'ra, sorry. Oh, hello. They're building loads of carriers too. This must be just a way of them mass producing, I assume. You would have hoped they would have built some destroyers or something though. Their shipyard's out. Maybe if I like give them longer, but I don't want to waste time just waiting. It's just boring for you. It's boring for you guys, and kind of boring for me, really, as well.
Group 1 reporting.
ZPM hive. Look at that.
I'm now queen of this hive.
Group 1.
Good God.
Group 1 reinforced.
By the Emperor, it's
New formation
huge.
acknowledged.
Forgot how big these things were. It's obviously got a different colour. Long range capital killer.
Queen of this hive.
I think the Queen was on this one actually, or one of the Queens. Let's get them in formation.
Group 1 standing
and
by.
we'll head out. Let's research some stuff, shall we? I think they all have access to hyperdrive.
Group
Well,
1 copies.
let's hyperdrive them straight into. I like the whole concept of hyperdriving them straight into the mess. So there we go.
My queen.
Look at that. Doesn't that give the Goa'uld something to worry about?
Group 1 reporting.
Not firing though, gents. Bit disappointing. Open up. Look at that.
Group 1.
I'm now queen of this hive.
ZBM hive's huge. Just destroying them all. Yeah, I think they prefer broadside rather than the frontal. which looks a bit silly when they're moving, to be honest, but, you know, it's what they do in the actual series. Most of the engagements tend to be broadsides rather than frontal engagements. I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, the Goa'uld aren't really putting up much of a fight in this one. It's such a shame. We need to find possibly another person to try and highlight, you know, the carnage that can become as a result of this.
We're setting a new course.
They really are a wrecking shop, though. It's a shame. I was really hoping to face off against some attack class. I'd like to point out this doesn't detract from my enjoyment of this mod. It's absolutely amazing. It's just the AI needs a bit of tweaking, and hopefully they will do that. They're obviously Phoenix Interactive are moving most of their mods, if not all of them, over to remastered. So, you know, better graphic quality, fidelity, and hopefully more powerful AIs. Those carriers really are getting a number done on them. One's trying to run. Don't let him get away. I think all the frigates are gone though, so there's one left. So at the very least they did that. Look at that, angled. Be interesting to see how they... Oh, someone's jumped out. Be interesting... Oh, and he's jumped out as well. Nice. I like how they do that. They're running. Did he just... I don't really know what to say to that. I think he jumped forwards and jumped back. But yes, I like the... I wonder how they're going to do the Asgard if they plan on doing them, because quite frankly their weapons are overpowered. As are the... Oh, you sneaky, jammy donut. How am I going to get him now? I have to look for them. Shipyard's gone, so I've basically destroyed everything. I just need to... Maybe I'll get lucky and do all that carry and just jump in a really random spot. Now I'm going to have to... There we go. Yes, he did. He's still doing it. This is kind of clever to try and prolong my suffering at doing this, but, you know. If it means seeing more blue lasers flying at the enemy for longer, I've got no qualms with that. He's trying to run his men out now. Is he trying to run his men out? That's what I do. Try and run out and then warp. Come on. Finish him off. There we go. Victory for the Wraith. And there you have it, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I should say. The 3 races of Stargate Space Conflict. Great mod. Absolutely love it. The polish, the sounds, the noises, it's all screams Stargate to me. And hopefully it will interest some of you to have a crack at it. Like I said, this is all done by Phoenix Interactive, and I believe they're moving it over to remastered along with their other mods, Battlestar and Mass Effect. And we'll hopefully come along and take a look at those at some point. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Commissar Zero, signing out.